Sorry. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think we picked a really good one-liner for tonight. What's up, everybody? I think we're on a Country Thunder train wreck right now. Am I echoing to you now? Or do I sound better to you? Turn my headphones up.
No, you're fake. Yeah, your
What?
Facebook audio is whacked up again.
All right. Well, let's see, guys. We're gonna test the audio, make sure everything's up. There we go. That's why. So everything was reset somehow before we went live. So give it a second. We'll get it all caught up. All right. If you guys are in the chat, though, you guys could hear us. Go ahead and give us a like or where you guys are from listening. I can't talk tonight. Where you guys are listening from tonight. Okay.
You're good.
I'm going to say, wait. Is the delay going?
You're good.
You sure? I'm going to go. I'm going to fire this up in a minute. Put you on real quick. There you are. So you got dressed up tonight. I had to bring you on camera for a few.
I'm trying to...
I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Are you sure? Should I be like 5, 4, 3?
We're good.
What's up, everybody in the chat? All right. You good?
Yep.
All right. We're going to roll with it. Welcome to Season 4 of the Gaining Fast on Memphis podcast. Each week, we connect melodies, memories with fans, artists, and passionate-driven individuals in and around the music community. I'm your host, Aaron Shriver. Tonight, we are presented by our good friends at Arlo Revolution, cinematic wedding films, music videos, and promos. Find them at arlorevolution.com. And then our two on-screen sponsors, Art on a Higher Wire by Joel, original custom artwork inspired by your life moments, treasured photos, and memories. Each week, I keep on skipping over. Are you good or no? You give me a bad.
Going in and out.
The audio is going in and out, or the microphone is. You stopped me for nothing.
No, check the audio again. Check your mic again.
In here?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
It's broadcaster.
Is it still coming out? What's up, Kyle? Sorry, we're still trying to check audio, and it's gonna be a fun one to edit tomorrow. I'm glad we used the Ashland Craft train wreck one-liner though, because that's how this entire intro has been.
Yeah, but everybody knows us. We are kind of a train wreck. Like, for real.
That's why there's editing magic.
No, I think you're good. I don't know. Yeah, it was like echoing, and then it was fine, and then it's... But I think you're good. I think it might be my phone. Go ahead.
All right. Our on-screen sponsors, Art on a Higher Wire by Joel. Original and custom artwork inspired by your life moments, treasured photos, and memories. And Corey Oliphant and the Original Church Choir, each week we're honored to have Corey and the OC as a sponsor. So we thank all of our sponsors for continued support and growth of the show. If you're looking for ways to support the show or sponsor the show, the heart of our show is our Patreon page. We talk about it every week. Tier start at just $1. If Patreon is something you can't do, the next best way is to support the show is this like, share, and subscribe. Review. If you got that Apple iPhone app, we talk about it every week. So if you guys can hop over there, if you're listening to this back on a streaming side of things, join us live on Tuesdays. You could get to see us screw up live and then hear it edited the day after. So it's always good. But yes, definitely join us. You can interact with the show, ask the guest questions. It's a lot of fun live on Tuesdays. So definitely join us in. But yeah. And if you guys are part of our Patreon, other than something we'll talk about in a quick second. All right. Yes. So July, we do have a Tyler Joe Miller snapback hat, our Jeremy Spillman, Divine Devil's book, and our good friend that we're going to bring on here. She's actually right here. We're going to get a koozie and a sticker and give away all little stuff for Patreon this month. So it's going to be a good little giveaway, but I'm getting a little sidetracked because if you're already a Patreon member, you got something really cool in your email earlier tonight. or if you've been a guest on the show, you've been got one too. But you got let in on a little secret that's going to be announcing this Sunday. Pretty big announcement. So we cannot wait. We're excited. But our 100th show is going to be announced Sunday. If you guys are listening, we can't wait. So definitely join all of our social medias. I don't know what time, but we'll figure out something and drop it in there somewhere. All right. If we're good on that. Were you trying to tell me something? Okay. You're like all over the mouse. I was like, oh, I do something wrong. Audio's still good, right? Before you move on to this next part, I want to make sure.
I don't know.
You were giving me weird looks.
It's just my face. We're good.
That's why I married you. I love weird looks. Not the evil, ugly ones, though. It's the fun ones.
It's the, oh, crap. That's the look I give you. All right, let's go.
God, this is fun. All right, guys. Tonight we welcome in country music blogger, podcast host, and a fellow Chicago native, Backstage Bobbi. I came across her a while back during one of her Instagram lives and instantly loved her passion and drive for music. Once I got to know her, I just knew I had to have her on the show and to learn about her journey. And the coolest thing is it's live in studio tonight. So we actually brought her in because she's local. So we're going to go ahead and bring her on. There you go. There you go.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Thanks
for having me on, Aaron.
Hell yeah. I'm so glad to have you. You got a nice little bar set up behind you.
I know. We had to move Jack because we had rival hats.
He was peeking over your head there for a little bit.
He was.
So welcome. I guess I'm glad to have you. And even better that you're local here. It's just phenomenal to have we have Whiskey Riff that was local to us. I think half of them moved out. And then you and I now are doing things. But I like what you and I are doing because we're focused a lot on the up and comers and a lot of the newer guys that are coming into country music, and we're introducing everybody to a new sound out there. I feel, and just doing our small little part and keeping music alive this day. But typical first question I always ask everybody here. I want to throw it all the way back to your youngest memory, music memory. What was your parents listening to when you were growing up? What was going on in the house, man? What did you remember musical when you growing up as a kid?
Yeah, so I always like to laugh. Shout out to Scott and Mel. What's up, my parents? I grew up around a lot of music. So my mom grew up in a really musical family, but unfortunately that talent skipped me. So I think that's why I love music so much. But yeah, my mom loves Prince. She's probably the biggest Prince fan I've ever met in my entire life. And my dad really liked The Flock of Seagulls. So I grew up in a really eclectic house, and how I landed on country music is kind of a mystery, but my uncle and all of them live in Texas and stuff like that. So I got a little Texas CD when I was 4. And so my mom actually a couple of weeks ago gave me this really awesome journal that she kept of me from when I was, I don't know, probably 2 up until I went to college when I was 18. And we actually pinpointed the moment that I started to listen to country music.
Yes.
I was 4 years old, and my mom said that I came up in a bride costume and was pretending to line dance to my own wedding to Little Texas.
Oh, do you know what song it was?
Kick a Little, I think it was. So yeah, from there, you know what I mean? I think my love of country music and my love of music grew. You know what I mean? I'm somebody that suffers with anxiety, and my mom would always be like, just go to your room. You know what I mean? Listen to some music, and I'd come out, you know what I mean, 30 to 45 minutes later and everything would be okay. But, you know what I mean? From then it just grew on to my love of the Dixie Chicks. And, you know what I mean? My sister and I would put on karaoke to the Dixie Chicks and stuff like that. Oh my God. Yeah. That's a throwback to some Eastern Illinois days. That was barn dance, but
there you go.
But yeah, music has always been around me, whether it's been my aunt singing or my mom singing horribly to Prince, you know what I mean? But kind of how I fell into country music, I almost feel it was kind of like one of those universe moments that was like, here, we're going to give you a gift, and then you kind of get to explore it on your own.
What was your mom's favorite Prince song? Do you remember?
Probably When the Doves Cry.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely a Prince fan. I love listening to some good old Prince back in the day.
Yeah.
So, but growing up in Chicago, I mean, how for you, when you really got into like country and everything else, what was your first concert like? I mean, figure that out.
My grandparents live in Central Illinois, right outside of Springfield, and there was kind of like their equivalent of Joe's on Weed down there. It was called Nashville North.
Okay.
And it was in Taylorville, Illinois. And I'm sad that it's not there anymore. But I saw Restless Heart when I was like 6.
Dude.
And I'm sad that I didn't bring this hat with me because it's actually still at my parents' house. But I had the lead singer sign my hat. Like it was just a super small, like, you know what I mean? You're either going up or you're going down kind of venue. And I remember my Nana was like, I'm going to take you to a country concert. And it ended up being Restless Heart. And I remember, I still have that greatest hit CD. I remember playing like The Sims when I was like in middle school and still listening to Restless Heart. But yeah, Restless Heart was definitely my first country concert and kind of my first experience into that live music scene. Oh, this is a fun story if you don't mind me telling.
Yeah, well, we was showing Alison Krauss on the screen, and was this your first meet and greet or first artist you actually got to meet?
Yeah, so I actually just posted about this on my Instagram page. My dad actually found the meet and greet pass from this. So my mom's really good friend from college. Her brother at one point was actually married to Alison Krauss. And I think they were still married at this point. And so we got to go backstage at a really, really cool venue we have here in the Chicagoland area called Ravinia.
Nice.
And this was her Raising Sands tour with Robert Plant. So my mom, being the big Led Zeppelin fan that she is, geeked out over Robert, and I geeked out over Allison. So super sweet. I love her music. I still definitely, she's in my rotation today. But yeah, that was my first meet and greet, and rocking the Victoria's Secret pink sweatshirt there. That's a throwback.
I always talk about with Allison, one of my favorite things is she did When You Say Nothing at All, but she did it years after Keith Whitley did it. Yeah. And I think it was like a radio DJ in Texas or somewhere. You can still find on YouTube, took the two and they mashed them together. The coolest freaking duet you've ever heard of these two. Just like, it's like a back and forth them singing. Every time I hear her, it's on my rotation. I'm like, oh, I gotta listen to this one.
I gotta find that. I mean, that sounds like a spiritual moment.
Chills, and it's like they're singing back and forth. It's just like a duet of the song. It's so beautiful. It's amazing. I'll find it. I'll have to play it for you or send it to you.
Yes, please do.
So, but going back to before about the concert. So Chicago was never really big on country music. You even said you had to go to Central Illinois. Yeah. This is your first show. Cause I remember. I think my first like country show in Chicago was like 97-ish. I got a poster somewhere. I was hoping to find it, but it was Martina McBride, Pam Tillis, and Billy Ray Cyrus at the Arlington racetrack. I'll never, it was like US 99 thing. And I think I was pretty sure it was Martina McBride, Billy Ray, and Pam Tillis, all three together. It was
what I do to see them now, man. That would be amazing.
Well, I do to see Billy Ray again. Jeez.
We want to see Billy Ray again.
I was a big Billy. I'd go see him tomorrow if he was playing somewhere.
For sure. Me too.
I used to be a big Billy Ray fan. I know she was too for a while.
Yeah, I was a big Martina fan. My mom actually I listened to her so much. My mom actually nicknamed her Mick-Tina. Yeah. Just because that was just on rotation. Them and Rascal Flatts were another really big kind of early people that I like to listen to.
We used to be Rascal Flatts fans for a while. Yeah. We went and saw them in concert once. I know you saw them at the Opry play. And I was told I had to hate them for a while. Yeah. I think I still have there's a picture up there of me burning a Rascal Flatts sticker.
Oh no. Well, don't tell them that.
It's up on the wall. Oh, I'm sure they know. But everybody kissed and made up, and I think they're fine with their church now. So.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Okay. I get where you're going.
Yeah, it was right after Eric got fired from their tour. I don't know where we were somewhere in Hickory, North Carolina at a show, and we w're all burning Rascal Flatts stuff.
Oh, Jesus. Well, don't tell high school Bobby that.
Yeah, right. Don't tell Shriver that from I don't know, 16 years ago, right before church or whatever. But
I love it.
Yeah, so I mean, there really wasn't much to do in Chicago for country music, and it's really changed over the years. But growing up around here, I didn't even know I was a rock fan because that's what we get more at the Allstate or wherever. We wouldn't get much country. And I remember an Alan Jackson, Leanne Rimes show at Allstate Arena, Rosemount Horizon years ago. Because I chased Leanne Routes for a bus, and I got to meet her, but I pulled a.
I'm so jealous.
I'll find a picture, but I had asthma thing because normally if you go to a concert you can't leave. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I was there with my parents. I was like 18. No, I was like 16 maybe. No, I wasn't able to drive. Maybe I was like 15. I was like, "Oh, I can't breathe in here. It's smoky because people are still smoking in venues. I got to go. This is a story I should have told Craig Dunn the other day because this is one of his stories. I got to go out to the side door and I saw her dad escort Leanne out to this other door by their bus. I hurried up and ran over there and I got a picture of me and her real quick and got to meet her.
So jealous. Leanne Rimes, that's another person. I still have her blue CD. That was a song. I mean, that whole album, I think I was like 5. And my mom caught me like jumping up and down on my bed singing. Oh my God.
One Way Ticket.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you.
Yes,
How did I forget that? And now that it's gone viral again, like my heart is happy. But yeah, Leanne Rimes, I mean, even on my show and stuff, when I talk about, I say it was like Leanne Rimes and a hairbrush. Like that's what started all this for me. So, oh my gosh. And Brett Eldridge just passed. He's another one of my buddies. And
Nice
I've actually
Chicago
lost
boy.
a bunch of weight, so I look a little bit different than this.
Yeah. We're showing some pictures on here. We'll have to talk about that here in a little bit because.
But that's Brett. This is Chicago homeboy hero.
Hell yeah,
he was
man.
great. That's probably the 3rd time I had met him. He's great.
Brett is this. He's the national or the country crooner they call him. I mean, I love it. I mean, I've seen him a couple of times. I never really got too far into him, but I love what he does. And I love what he did with the Cubs too. And was that at the rally and the parade? It was like, dude, he was a huge. I know, diehard Cubs fan. So
yeah, he's a great dude.
So your Cubs, I could see this in this picture here.
Very much so.
Well,
yeah,
that's
that was right
thing.
after they won the series, so that was great.
Nice. I was in Wrigleyville for Game 7. It was just wild, and I didn't think I was gonna get out alive.
I know. I was there too. I didn't think I was gonna get out because they shut all the streets down. But here I am. So I must have done something right.
So we talked about growing up in Chicago and how there wasn't really much music. But lately, over the last, I would say 10 years or so, the country music scene in Chicago has just kind of just exploded. Yeah. And I love it to see that you're covering a lot of Chicago coverage too, or concerts and everything else too, because now we have so many, and with Joe's on Weed and other places. But tell me about some of your favorite Chicago venues right now to see live music. So if anybody in Chicago is watching, where do you kind of hang out? Where do you go see live music at?
So Joe's was, I feel like Joe's will always be the mother church here in Chicago. They, Ed Worm and Joe's and the team over there have just fostered everybody from Keith Urban to Luke Combs. I saw Luke Combs back in the day there for, I think, $8. Nice. And they've just always been such a great place for country music community to get together. There's Bub City, which is another great place. I know one of our buddies, Cameron Marlowe, just did a pop-up show there. And that's another great place for people that are kind of coming up to really get to meet the fans and get to meet the country music community. But something that I actually got to be a part of over the weekend and kind of experience for myself was a really cool festival called Country on Western. And it was put on by probably the only, at least that I know about, country Americana rock band called South City Revival. Okay. They are incredible. And they're local to
Yes.
Okay. And they had so many awesome other bands that I purposefully did this because I wanted to give everybody a shout out because there were so many bands that I couldn't remember, and I wanted to shout everybody out.
Well, that's another thing I wanted to bring up was like local bands, local music venues, because it's kind of cool to have somebody else that's local to Chicago. There's only a couple other people I know that are diehard music fans here in Chicago that listen to stuff. I don't know. I'm probably, I know I'm way older, but did you ever come across Hello Dave at all? A band called Hello Dave in Chicago? Go back and look them up. I'll just send you some stuff. They play every now and then. They had a little run in Nashville for a while, and with Keith Urban, but they had they jam.
Yeah, but no, this Country on Western was so cool. It was in the Beverly neighborhood. They had, there was probably one of my favorite discoveries that I've ever had, was a guy called David Quinn. He is so cool, bringing it back. There was Railway Gamblers, who I loved. There was Coyote Riot. And then obviously the guys that put it on, were South City Revival, and then Liam Dorkin Band closed it down. But these are all local country people. And I feel like, now that I'm old enough to like not have my parents take me to concerts and I can go by myself, like after college, finding a country music community in Chicago was impossible unless you went to the United Center, which that's not a community. That's just a bunch of fans. And so I'm really excited to start to share this community that is actually in Chicago of musicians and fans and people that are just ready to have a good time. But yeah, you know what I mean? Joe's, if you're looking to dip your toes, that's a really good place to start. I know they have a really amazing lineup coming up here. I know one of your buddies, Randall King, is going to be playing there.
I'm gonna miss it. Trey Lewis, Randall King, back to back. I'm out of town.
Me too. But another one of my new favorite guys, Larry Fleet, is going to be. He was just at Windy City.
Yeah, we were looking today. Saturday. What's his name? What did I call him?
Ian Munsick.
Yeah, what did I call him?
Ian Munsick. He kept calling him something ice stick, like a hockey. Like he was a hockey player.
He has a really interesting sound. I really like him.
I'm going to go out and see him on Saturday.
Totally worth it. Yeah. He is a Wyoming boy. He just has a really unique sound and something that I'm really excited to see what he's going to do.
He's playing with Ashley Kraft tonight and Megan Patrick out in Nashville. I'm like, I'm going to have to go check him out.
Talk about two women that like I want to be. Oh my God. My dad is probably like, so that's my dad. Also he's my concert guy. That's who I take to all my concerts with me. He's my ultimate hype man. And that was watching, I think that was maybe the third, God, that must've been 93. That was probably the 94 Bulls run, sitting on our old couch there in the suburbs. So what's up, Daddy?
I think I was in middle school watching that.
That big old bald head. That's actually why I wear the hat.
Yeah, I stopped watching basketball after that. Like I was a diehard Bulls fan, and you couldn't watch basketball after the 90s Bulls, man. It was over.
That's one of my favorite pictures of me and my dad. And if you go check out my Instagram, you'll actually see my dad and I did smoke out, and he was the best hype man. He got Lainey Wilson to sign my koozie and hyped her up. So it was pretty cool.
Lainey is awesome.
Oh, Lainey, talk about one of my favorites. So for sure.
That is so cool. So yeah, just talking about a few of the local music and the local bands around. That's cool. Cause all those bands using it out. I haven't heard about any of them. So like I got to see a little bit of Backcountry Road yesterday or Sunday.
Yeah, so cool.
They played at Thunder. I got to see a little bit of them. They're phenomenal. If Saddlebrook, they're Milwaukee, Chicago, Chief, they ever play, they're always a good fun little get together. When I'm sober, I don't know.
Yeah. Either way.
I ran into something this weekend, and I want to talk to you because you're a live music fan and everything. How are you when you know an artist has amazing original songs? Like if you know, like, oh, this guy has a pocket full of diehard originals, but he's up there playing covers. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you, when you look at that, or like, you know why they do it? They do it because they want the crowd to like hear their repertoire, hear what they can do, and that. But I feel like it'd be better to play originals to get them to hearing who you really are and hear those songs. But how do you feel about newer bands playing cover songs like that?
I feel like there's a time and a place. I feel like I totally agree with you that to get the crowd going, to kind of get people to pay attention, but then play your own stuff. Yep. You mean all the guys that I saw this weekend played their own stuff. Yeah. And it's funny when you said that you know somebody that has a pocket full of gold and they just do nothing but covers. It almost makes me like, what are you doing? And I don't want to use the term sell out because that's just like a naughty word in my vocabulary. But I feel like it can get overdone. And if you want to stand out in country music right now, you got to be yourself. I feel like right now it is one of the most, if not the most diverse genres right now that seems very welcoming. Just be yourself. I mean, I agree. Yeah. So I would say do a nice little mix, throw in some church, throw in some Combs to get the party popping. But I want to see who you are. And that's coming from somebody that, really takes the time to listen to what's going on.
There's a time to be like the party bar band, and there's a time to actually showcase who you really are as a band as well. And I don't know, take your set differently or whatever. I don't know. It was a question that popped in my head this weekend, seeing just different bands out and about at Country Thunder. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask Bobbi this question because this is something that I, as a music fan, just want to talk to somebody else about.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I want to hear something new. Yeah. And that something new is only going to come from originals for sure.
I agree. It's awesome. So, but going back to like originals and everything else, in places in Chicago, I know you've been out to Carol's, Joe's. We talked about Joe's Alive. Dave Canavan, dude, he's out there. He has Emerald Isle,
Yep.
and then Wrigleyville North. And Emerald Isle, dude, he has been bringing crazy amount of groups out there.
One of my buddies is going to be there, Dustin Herring, I think in August. So I'm going to go see him. And then another one of my good buddies, Sam Grow, is actually going to be in West Chicago in August.
Really?
So get y'all tickets, y'all.
I'm going to check that out. I was really excited because was it last weekend? Well, even though I had Thunder, I was going to try to leave early. Saturday, it was Clayton Shea was opening for 1,000 Horses in like Aurora or something. Yep. And it got canceled. I'm like,
I saw that.
What the hell? I really want to go out and see Clayton because he was on the show now. He was on your show too.
Yep, both. Yep.
Love
and he's an Illinois boy. So
love
for sure.
Guy. So if you guys are not following along live, you guys are listening back, we're showing some pictures, and you mentioned a couple of them. Here you are in a gym and a couple little things. You've gone through some transformations. When I was going through some pictures and pulling for this thing, I'm like, all right, you can kind of see it because I mean, honestly, I was in the same boat. I was almost 300 pounds a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I was anxiety, depression, everything else. I had a dead end job. I mean, it was a good paying job. I was just unhappy at, and I just didn't want to be there no more, and wanted out, and just everything else. And once I got away from that and quit drinking and cleaned some shit up in my life, I was able to be a different person. For you, I mean, what made you go through some transformations, or what was your journey like?
Sounds about the same. No, I think for me, you know, I left, my favorite picture, shout out to my best friend and photographer, Nastasia, for that photo. Awesome. I felt like such a baddie that day. But no, I left college. And you know what I mean? All of these people that I knew were getting these amazing jobs in the city. And I still kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I think it was just depression and anxiety just flared really hard. But it's so funny, through that whole time, country music was there like the entire time. I remember being at my heaviest and jamming out to Brothers Osborne, Stay a Little Longer. Like that was when they came out into the scene. Yeah. But yeah, music has always been there. So yeah, for me, it was more of like I want to be proud of myself for something. I want to feel good about myself. I want to be healthy. Smoke Out. Yeah, that was from Smoke Out 2019. And then this Smoke Out this year. But as far as the weight loss goes, I think it was just such a mental game. And it's just so funny how country music has been so full circle in my life. Yeah. I don't think I ever worked out to like rap. I think it was always some sort of like Sam Hunt or, you know, in other country music.
Country music rap.
Yeah, country music rap for some FGL or whatever. Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I can say I've lost 150 pounds and kept it off here now for 3 years.
That is amazing. 3 years.
And so I feel like it's given me the confidence to be Backstage Bobbi and to do everything that I think at some point was always there, but I never had the confidence to do. So
and probably pushed you to do this. I mean, that was me. Like I was in a spot where I loved music and I wanted to be around it. I wanted to be closer. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And
totally,
I was going through some mental health stuff and I was seeing a doctor for a little bit. And they're like, well, you love music. What else do you? I'm like, I just love telling people about music. They're like, well, why don't you just do a music podcast? I'm like, I can actually do a podcast with my buddies, just have my buddies on once a week and start talking to them. And then right before COVID happened, I started getting some artists coming on. I was like, oh, all right. This is all right. I'll take this.
You know what I mean? That was for me. I had a total aha moment in December of 2019. My really good friend Steph has this great shout out to my buddy Kyle.
He works out the Shania sometimes.
I know you do. But my friend Stephanie had this amazing kind of networking group for women entrepreneurs in Chicago. And she really challenged me to figure out like what I wanted to do with my life. And it was the same thing. I'm like, I've always loved music. It's always been there for me. So I wanted to go to radio school. And then all of a sudden she called me. It'll be it was like a year ago, I think this week, and was like, I had a dream. You're going to be Backstage Bobbi. We're going to do this.
Did you ever go to radio school?
I never did.
I was gonna say, don't tell me you went to Illinois Center for Broadcasting in Lombard.
No,
That was a fun place, though.
Yeah, I've heard great things, but no, I just started this Backstage Bobbi thing, and it's slowly grown over the past year.
That's badass.
But yeah, I mean, shout out to Stephanie, because if it wasn't for her, I mean, I don't think I actually no, I would not be here. And she went to smoke out with me on Thursday, so that was a full circle moment.
And that's all. Yeah, you always have those. Is awesome.
Oh, okay. Another amazing place to see live country music. That is at the Joliet Fest that the Joliet Park District puts on.
Oh, okay.
And that was when I went with my Aunt Jen. Shout out to my Aunt Jen, who's my hype woman. We went with my parents and my Aunt Jen. And that was the night they had Scotty McCreery was headlining, Cole Swindell, and Tyler Rich. So that was 2019. It's so funny how much country music now is rolling through Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to my buddy Sam Grow not too long ago on my own show, and he said that Chicago is his #1 Spotify streaming city.
Really?
And I've talked to a handful of other people that say that we're top 5. And I'm like, yeah, like, come hang out. Like, you will be surprised. And that's actually, I was at, oh my God, I was in high school. And that was my girlfriend in high school, Nicolette. And her dad took us to this really cool 4-day like Christian music festival at, I think it's now the Schaumburg Boomers Stadium.
Yeah.
And so we got to meet a bunch of people. So yeah, I mean, no matter the genre, I've always loved music. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was my senior picture in high school. Yeah, but music's always been there, and I'm loving all of these pictures. You did some great.
I had blonde hair in my senior picture too.
Oh
And I'm not lying about that. I had
it.
blonde tips. They were blonde tips,
like
right?
like Justin Timberlake.
I don't know that she's. It was back then. It was cool to have frosted tips.
Yeah, like JT.
Yeah, like JT. That's what he did.
I love that. I want to see those pictures.
I graduated in 2000, and I don't know why I wanted blonde hair. And the night of my graduation, I dyed my entire hair blonde, like Eminem. I'm like, bleach blonde the whole thing.
Love it.
It was interesting. It was fun, but no, but seeing your journey and like seeing these pictures, and like if you guys are watching this back or listening to this back on a streaming site, go back and watch on either YouTube or Facebook. You guys can see it back. And see the journey that you've been on, which has been phenomenal, and to see where you're at. And that's why when I was kind of digging and researching for this, I was like, dude, we got to talk about this. And that's why I pulled some of these pictures, because I'm like, I wanted to have a little bit of variety to show the roller coaster and ride that we were all on. And when you see stuff like that, you people will put yourself in your shoes and be like, all right, cool. This person gets me.
Totally. No. And I feel like it's something like you said, it's universal. Everybody has their own shit, and we can overcome it. And thanks to music, I overcame mine. So there you go.
So tell me a little bit about all your new endeavors you got going on. So Country Confidential podcast, all country news, keeping it country live on Instagram, all this stuff. Tell me about everything you got going on in your life right now.
Yeah, so it's been super, super busy. So back in, I'm going to say February of this year, I was like feeling really stuck and still really frustrated that we lived in this COVID era and there was no live music. So I was feeling that there had to be other people that felt this way, and there had to be other artists that felt this way. So I reached out to one of my good duo friends, the Jensen sisters. They're awesome. They're from Minnesota. They're super twangy, super rootsy. Love them. And I just said, hey, like, would you ever just want to go live with me and just talk and like play a song off your new album? And they're like, absolutely. And from there it grew. And even though we had like 5 people watching, something inside me like exploded. Yeah. And I think I was just kind of like you. I'm so interested into why people love country music and why they tick and like, what is it about it? So from there it's grown. I've had some really amazing guests on. I've had everybody recently. I've had Jay Coote. I've mentioned my buddy Sam Grow. I've had a really amazing artist out of Canada. Her name is Parker Gray. Nice. And she has now become one of my really good friends. I've just had so many amazing people on. And I guess I'll make the announcement here first. we're actually taking Keeping It Country live. And it's actually going to be called The Deep Dish on Country with Backstage Bobbi. And we're going to go backstage with some artists starting here at the end of August.
Nice.
So it's going to be exactly what you see on Keeping It Country, pretty much,
We're
but we're going to be live and we're going to be backstage with the artists.
I got to do that Saturday with Ashley.
Yes,
dude,
I know.
Stuff like that is
so pumped for you.
It was lucky. It was the luck of the draw. I'm like, oh, this is awesome that she was able to do it.
She's such a cool person too.
Yeah. Oh man, she's down to earth and just badass. New album coming out soon, but you're gonna love it. You're gonna have so much fun.
Excited.
And
yeah.
it's fun because what I loved about it is we were talking about COVID for a year and you're stuck here. And now we're actually getting out and we're actually being able to do interviews and see people and do things. And I love that, that whole aspect of it. So I wrote down, I got to ask you, because we were talking earlier, who's been your toughest? Because I know I was sharing my Randall King. It was really tough interviewing Randall King around the same time of the 1 year anniversary of his sister. And to me, that's probably one of the toughest interviews I ever had, just because I know it went that way a couple of times. Yeah. And I'm like, for you though, what's been the toughest for you?
So I take a lot, like you do. Mm-hmm. I take a lot of pride in my shows. Yeah. Time is valuable, even though a lot of people weren't doing jack for a really long time. Time is valuable. And I always want to make sure that my artists feel that their time is valuable. So I had an artist, and I always check in with people a week before just to make sure everything's set. Send them kind of like what you sent me. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, it'll be great. Sounds great. And he ended up doing the interview from a very noisy bar. I couldn't hear him at all. And, it's hard, man. I'm sure to keep that straight face or to keep professional, but you just got to keep trucking. Luckily, I've only had, one that I would consider a tough interview. But yeah, that was rough, man. I felt like all of the respect that I had given was not reciprocated, which is hard. Like, it is what it is, but you know what I mean? I think for me, I was more sad because I wasn't able to show his full potential. Yep. I think that's where my frustration lied, because he has a great voice and an amazing story, and sat at Hooters and talked to me instead of being like, hey, I'm not where I needed to be. Let's reschedule, because I can't even tell you how many times I've had to reschedule countless guests. I mean, over, hey, I have a family emergency, or hey, I'm going to go play a paid gig that I haven't been able to do in a year and a half. I mean, so I was just bummed for him, because I'm like, dude, you're really freaking good, and you're going to sit at Hooters and talk to me. But anywho, besides that, I've been really lucky to work with just some really, really cool people on both Keeping It Country and then my new podcast, The Country Confidential. Yes, that is a really fun story. If you have like 2 seconds for me to tell it.
We'll talk about that. We'll come back in a few minutes and talk about that. So the picture on the screen is you and Keith Urban. So I want to know about this.
And my super sexy Aunt Susan. What's up, Aunt Susan? So my Aunt Susan is really big into country music. So I said, hey, do you want to go see Keith and Brett Eldridge? This is from the same night as that Brett picture. Nice. And Maren Morris was opening. I mean, talk about a throwback. So we had gotten Brett meet and greets, and we're standing in line to get into the Allstate. And at that time, she was working for the radio station. I think she's now down in Nashville. Her name is Brooke. She was working for the old country radio station that was here. 95.5. Yeah. And she approached us with like, hey, do you guys want to go meet Keith Urban? And I yelled really, really loud at the top of my lungs, F yes. And my aunt was like, you got to stay calm. And I was like, okay. So I was wearing leather Spanx that night and stuck the VIP pass on my leg and proceeded to walk to the Keith to the Brett meet and greet. Cause I said, hey, like, I'd really love to do both. How can we make this happen? Artist managers were super grateful. They like, absolutely, we'll get you into Brett and then we'll get you over to Keith. Well, somewhere in the mix of that, my Keith sticker fell off.
Oh.
I had a full panic attack in the middle of the Allstate Arena, but luckily Keith's management had remembered me and let me right in. And meeting him was probably top 10 moments of my life, and getting to share it with my aunt who totally mumbled over her words was awesome. But I got to ask him a question. My mom wanted me to ask him, how's Tom Cruise? But I asked him, I don't even remember what it was, just because my mom was like, yeah, ask him how Tom Cruise is, because he's married to Nicole Kidman. But yeah, super nice guy, a lot shorter than I thought, but he smelled really good.
That's what I always hear about artists. I hear they smell really good. So everybody talks about church like that. I'm like, I don't know, whatever.
Well, when I finally meet him, I'll make sure I text you and let you know.
It gets harder and harder, man.
I know.
it's this guy. Things are on lockdown with him.
Oh yeah,
there's our buddy Lewis. You gotta have him on.
Yes. So Lewis. So I live in one of the Chicago suburbs now. Because I got tired of paying Chicago prices, but that's a story for another day and another podcast. But so Lewis is an amazing artist who's actually related to Lee, and is doing his own thing, and it's just amazing. But he came to a venue right down the street from me called Hey Nani. It's super cool. I got to eat a meal and watch Lewis just absolutely crush it to a sold out crowd. Man, guys, if you don't know who Lewis Bryce is, like, you're missing out, because he puts on a killer. I mean, look how sweaty his shirt is. I mean, and I don't know if you guys have seen him live, but his drummer is a hoot and a half.
Oh, Johannes?
Yes. Oh my God. I think I watched him half the night. But yeah, that's Lewis. Awesome.
I always say
awesome
Johannes reminds me of Animal from the Muppet
Yes,
Babies.
that's what I said. Oh my God. I was like, because he has his hat and stuff like that. But yeah, Lewis, such a good dude, a real good dude. It was really fun meeting him.
Lewis played here 9 years ago.
Wasn't he just at Blarney's too?
That was your 30th,
my 30th birthday party. Yeah, you played
Lewis
out here on the back patio right there.
That's amazing. I turned 30 in 2 years. Let's recreate that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Lewis and Jacob Stiefel and Matt Meyer, our buddy from locally. Graylin James couldn't come. He was supposed to be here. Dude, I saw sidetrack. I saw he's up for like a songwriter thing this year. I was like, whoa, this guy.
Yeah, but Lewis was just at Blarney's Father's Day weekend. Yeah, he went there for Father's Day.
I think that's how I knew.
He was with Nick Norman. They're doing that porch tour, which
such a cool idea.
If I could come up with some cash, I might swing through here again. We'll see.
Right.
I have a date on hold with them. We'll see what happens.
Perfect. I love it.
I don't know if it's gonna work, so we're trying to make things work out. But but going back to like keeping it country and kind of the whole live thing. I know we were talking a little bit about cancellations and everything, and how it's hard doing it, because when we're live, I mean, you're last minute trying to do stuff. And we book, I don't know how far out you book, but I try to book out 6 months sometimes.
I know we've had this book for a long time. Yeah, I've been pretty pumped.
Well, next week I have Sutherland. I've had them booked for I don't know how long. Well, now they're back rehearsing. So I have a 10 a.m. podcast next Tuesday.
I know. I saw that. I was like, those boys are awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, this is going to be fun though. Let's do this. They said 10 a.m. I said, I'm up. I'm ready to go. That's like my lunchtime. So
love it. Love it.
So we talked about your toughest interview. What's been your favorite interview so far, other than tonight? So other than this
okay. Oh my gosh. My favorite. I really, really loved interviewing my buddy Sam Grow. I think that is just such a success story. He is such a I even just get chills thinking about it. He just has such this amazing story of kind of rising from the ashes. Unfortunately lost his father way, way too young, but then got swept up by Colt Ford, out of all people, and is now with his label and is just putting out some bangers. And I think the reason I loved our interview so much is because it was just so genuine.
Nice.
Like I said, I've had some really, really, really great ones. Another one. Oh my God. How did I forget this one? She is totally coming up and is awesome. Her name is May Estes.
Okay.
And she is kind of hanging out with that Jason Nix kind of group. Another one of my other favorite interviews. Jesus, here they come. Yeah. So Jason Nix is another buddy. If you guys don't know who he is, you're really missing out. Preacher in a Bar by him, I think, is like my ultimate hype song. He wrote on Things a Man Ought to Know with Lainey Wilson.
Okay, yeah.
So him and I talked about that song and his journey and just, you know what I mean, mental health and music. And that's something that, really connects with me. But yeah, I got to say Sam, May, and
I want to look into Sam. He was just on with Ray's Rowdy not too long ago too, right? I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta check that.
So,
I gotta check.
and
in
like I said,
more.
he's going to be in Chicago. Wink, wink. So you might want to come out. Wink.
Yeah,
wink.
yeah. If I'm not out of town, I'll definitely have to keep that in mind. So.
But those definitely were some of my favorite interviews. And May is just so genuine. She's from Arkansas. She wants to bring that Keith Whitley sound back. And man, her voice is just killer. And her new she has a newer song when I talked to her back in February called Roses. And it's just this backhanded song.
Yeah.
And it's really subtle, but she's damn good.
I gotta check her out.
Yeah,
definitely. I gotta check.
She'd be good for this.
Down, right?
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, she's great.
She's my recorder over here. Right, all this
love
stuff
it.
down.
But yeah, no, those definitely I think for me are 1, 2, and 3 for sure.
What shows other than Sam Grow coming out? What other shows in Chicago are you looking forward to that's coming up maybe this summer and you might have tickets for or looking into or anything else?
So that was me at Winners, and that was me my junior prom. Shout out to the fake eyebrows. No, so I'm really, really excited. I just got done with there was me in Nashville. I just got done with doing some media for Windy City Smokeout, which was really exciting. The other shows, I'm super busy this summer, so I'm trying to get to as many as I can.
Nice.
But I did just get tickets to go see Larry Fleet. Oh my God, that picture has a story, but we can get to that later. I'm really excited to see Larry Fleet. That's going to be later in the year. And then I also got tickets to go. Oh, there's Lainey. Got tickets to go see Ashley McBride later this year. She's going to be at, oh my God, I think she's going to be at the Aragon in December.
Yeah, I see.
And then my good buddy Tristan Merez, who was another one of my favorite top interviews. And just an all-around great dude from Texas. He's going to be supporting Kip Moore in October, and so that's going to be a really, really great show. But yeah, I'm hoping to be at Joe's as much as I can. I know Sean Stamali is going to be at Bub's here in September, so I'm super excited to see him. Yes, that is John Party, and yes, he did want that koozie. So that koozie is no longer with me; it is with John. And that is me hugging the bean when I was in high school. So there you go.
Oh my God, that's awesome. And it was like what, 2 years ago?
No, it was more like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago now. Yeah.
Did you go to high school in the city?
No, I grew up in the burbs.
Okay.
So I went to Glenbard West and Glen Ellen.
Nice.
And grew up with just a really great community there. I was actually a theater nerd.
There you go.
And they always tried to get me into choir, but that's actually a funny story. A friend at the time tried to get me to go to women's a cappella. She's like, come on, like you'll love it. It's so much fun. I'm like, but I can't sing. Like, I promise you I can't sing. So she's like, it's fine. Just come. I'm like, okay, I'll go. And the choir director gave me the music. I felt like I was reading like a totally different language.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, guys, sing. And he goes, girls, you sound off today. I was like, I know it's me. I know it's me. So I lip sync. He goes, oh, sounds much better. And I never went back. But yeah, that was me.
Awesome.
That me and the cow. That was me doing some media. Thanks to my awesome friends, Marianne and Steph. On Sunday of Smokeout. That was great. And then that was me eating some pulled pork mac and cheese back in 2019 at Windy City Smokeout.
There you go.
Double
eating photos.
Yes, I love it. But yeah, that was me eating some chimichurri steak this year. And then that is actually in front of probably one of my favorite dive bars, if not my favorite. Oh, there's those two women are Stephanie and Marianne that I did some stuff with. But that is another Nastasia photo. And that hat is just like my favorite thing in the whole world.
Awesome hat.
It's too expensive. She lives in a box. But that's in front of Carol's. That's another really great place to go see up and coming talent. I mean, I saw Haley Witters there in like 2018.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, and then to see her in the pit doing media for her this past Sunday, it was crazy. Yep, I did get in trouble, and your friend Dave yelled at me because I was sitting on his bar.
Yeah. Is that Carol's?
That's Carol's. That's the inside of Carol's. But yeah,
he did a lot of work at Carol's.
Yeah, Carol's is great. I mean, that's a more divey bar, really intimate place just to see some really great local talent and some regional talent too, for sure.
That is awesome. I actually got to see the Kip Moore Bud Light show there a couple years ago. Oh my God.
I'm jealous.
I want to get there early to get front row or whatever. But I'm like, then something came up. I'm like, I'm not going to get there. I got there like 4:00. I was the only one. I'm like the only one there at 4:00 in the afternoon. I was like,
I know you're like me. I'm like, I gotta be first. I gotta be there first. And half the time I get there so early. And whoever I'm going with is like, you're gonna make me stand on this line for 2 hours. And I'm like, damn straight I am.
2 hours, that's nothing, huh?
Front row or don't go. Yeah.
2 hours is nothing.
Yeah.
I like 12, 16.
I've slept
before
outside.
the sun comes up.
There were some girls that slept outside smoke out, I heard.
We're too old for that now. I told them never again.
Shout out to you probably ran into her. I don't know. Going around Chicago concerts, Lynn. Have you ever met Lynn? I don't know how to spell her last name. I'm not gonna guess her age. She's an older lady that loves taking what is those beverage containers for you get from McDonald's, and she'll save her spots at shows like that. She's amazing though. She's a diehard. So she gets behind, or she got to Lollapalooza. Her and I are both Tucker fans.
Oh, fun.
And she got to Lollapalooza so early, and it was hilarious because she got interviewed by the local news, like WGN or somewhere. And she's like, "This is Lynn at Lollapalooza."
Oh my God. I feel like that's going to be me. I feel like I'm going to get old and retire and just like go to all the country music festivals. And like, that's going to be how I die.
Oh man, she's the sweetest lady ever to meet. And she's awesome. But going back, it was funny. You were talking about bad interviews and the bar, about how he was at Santa Bar. When I interviewed Tucker, I don't know if he had ADD or what. He was like my first like actual artist interview, and he's literally on his cell phone walking around his house the entire time.
Is this Bedford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The entire time. So the video, like I can't even watch the video anymore.
It's like Blair Witch.
He's moving the entire interview throughout his house. I'm like, dude, sit for a minute. Just calm down.
I have a funny story about him. So he opened up for Brantley Gilbert and Luke Combs. Yeah. And I think threw his shirt into the audience. And me and my girlfriend caught that shirt. And my girlfriend actually wore it around her waist to smoke out this weekend.
Nice. We'll have to get Tucker to sign it sometime.
That would be amazing.
If he comes back here, let me know. I'll have to.
That'd be awesome.
So him and I, we actually figured it out. We're talking. We quit drinking almost the exact same time because it was right around the same time his brother got killed. And that was right around the same. 2 months later, I got to interview him. So that was just a wild interview.
That's awesome.
It was my first artist. I'm like, this is gonna be wild. And then COVID hits, and I get all these artists like, hey, well, come on. I'm like, okay. Tucker got the jitters out. I'm good to go.
It's okay.
Now.
I cried right before I talked to Lainey Wilson, like full on cried. So
I haven't had that yet. I don't think. I don't know. I was pretty excited to talk to Tommy Chong though. Yeah. That was a fun one. I never thought he was the one I didn't think. If you had an interview like that where you're like, I'm just going to email this person and try it. I'm just going to go big or go home and see if they say yeah.
100%.
Who's it been?
It was Sam.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so it's always fun because you just want to say, all right, I'm just going to shoot him a message, see what happens or whatever. And I carry around cards sometimes. So when I go to shows, like I gave one to Ernest like a couple months ago or so, just different people like, hey, I'd love to have you on the show. And then I just try to contact them and see what happens.
That's how I do. And I think the one thing is even when I get like a thanks, but no thanks, everybody's been so kind. Like, wow, we really love this. Please reach out and whatever. And you know what? Like, you can't take it as offense. Everybody's so busy. And you know what I mean? Going live isn't for everybody. I reached out to someone who I really love and they're like, we love this. If you ever do a podcast style that's not live, let us know. Cause they're just not comfortable. And I'm like, okay. No biggie.
Yeah. I haven't had anybody that's really said no to the live or anything. I had a couple pass, just because they said it wouldn't fit their schedule. Or I'm like, all right, that's cool. Hey,
people are getting busy. I'm pumped for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm cool if they don't want to come on or whatever. I mean, down the road, whatever. Whatever happens. And
absolutely.
I was happy doing it and doing what I love. And sit here and talk about music once a week, which is just phenomenal.
Yes.
And we got you doing the same thing. I love that. Like, our shows are similar, but totally different at the same time. And like totally you're different. Rocking Instagram over there, and I stay away sometimes.
No, you're totally fine.
Instagram, man, it teases me.
Sometimes it's a pain in my butt, so no biggie.
So we're gonna go to our sponsored section, our Powered by Pod Deck section. Earlier I pulled 2 cards out of the deck. One of them was, what did your 15-year-old self imagine you'd be doing right now?
I wanted to be a wedding planner.
Ooh.
And now I'm like, hell no. So yeah, I really wanted to be a wedding planner. I don't know why. I grew up in a really big family and weddings were always kind of like the thing. So yeah, no, not the given career path now for sure.
Yeah, I know. I think when we planned our wedding, I was just like, I just want a live band and an open bar during the live band. Everything else just run with it. Oh no, and I wanted the intro. I wanted the intro.
You lie.
No, I'm not lying.
Nuh-uh.
I wanted the intro into the wedding too.
You wanted input on everything.
No, I barely did. Come on, I was mad because you didn't put.
She's looking at me like,
yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I just wanted a live band, open bar, and the intro or a wrestling intro.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
come out with the belt.
Oh yeah, we were all every groomsman and bridesmaid was different wrestlers. It was pretty. It's on YouTube. I'll send it to you. It's on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I really want to see that.
I came out with a Hulk Hogan shirt on, ripped it off, and my tux
That's
was underneath.
amazing. Oh my god, I have to.
We
see
had a
that.
blast. Yeah, I'll have to find it and send it to you. So, yeah, so you'd be a wedding planner. That's just. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could ever do that.
That was my favorite movie.
It
What
is.
is it?
Hey, it's a fantastic movie.
I love that movie.
There we go.
Love that movie. I would totally be a wedding planner.
Was that
but-
Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, at least I knew that part.
Mhm.
I'm actually thoroughly impressed. Nice job.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm married. That's why I have to know
I
that.
love it. I love it.
Every now and then it comes up every now and then, but whatever. All right. So what's your theme song and why? If you had to pick one song, like I got a tattoo on my arm. I gotta go Sinners Like Me. It's definitely my theme song. But what's yours?
Girl Going Nowhere, Ashley McBride.
Hell yeah.
I love that song. That's a good
I tried
song.
really hard not to cry saying that. I feel like it is such a song that you mean regardless of your gender, you have a dream and you've
Yeah.
been told no.
Mhm.
Like you feel that song in your damn bones. And I feel like I put it on when I'm excited about maybe I've just booked an artist and I'm like,
Mhm.
hell yeah, I told you I would do it. Or I listen to it when I, get a bunch of no's or feeling really down about content or like things are not going how I wanted to. I feel like that is something that's so special about Ashley and her just way of writing. But yeah, Girl Going Nowhere, Ashley McBride. If I wasn't so deathly afraid of getting a tattoo, I have a small tattoo. I don't know if y'all can see it. Probably not because it's so goddamn small. For mental health awareness here on my wrist, and I cried getting that. But I really wanted to get some lyrics. So
Yeah.
maybe one day I'll suck it up and do it. But yeah, Girl Going Nowhere, Ashley McBride.
That is a phenomenal song. I love it. I'm more of a Fat and Famous by Ashley. No.
Okay, I got fat, or you got fat, and I got famous. Yeah, that's a great one. Last
that
time
one.
I saw her perform, she sang that, and
Dude.
it's just funny to watch her sing that song because it's a true story. You
Mhm.
know it's because the way she sings that, you're like she has somebody in her head and she's like shooting bullets at it because it's just funny.
And just to let y'all know out there, if you have not seen Ashley McBride, we get a little bonus. So when we go and see Ashley, we go and see her in Chicago, and we always get Burning Down Chicago. So,
Nope.
and she doesn't play it for anybody else, but she plays it here every time she plays Chicago.
And she
so.
also was hanging out with Church.
Yeah. Well, she did Bible in 44
Bible
at
in
the
44
show. But,
at the shore. Yeah.
one of my buddies, Rick Tiger, he'll do house shows every now and then. He's actually played on the stage down here a couple times.
Oh my god.
He co-wrote Burning Down Chicago with Ashley.
Really?
Yeah. There's a co-write on that song with those two, and it's a
Jeez.
badass song.
The
So
more you know.
yeah, he's another one. I'm gonna have him on the show, I think, soon, but he'd be one to talk about.
Yeah.
He used to run a hot dog shack in Printer's Alley out of Fiddle and Steel Guitar Bar. So he has stories for days. That's how I met him. I was probably spending $80 on hot dogs in the alley somewhere. I have a notorious reputation of that.
I love it. I love it. Who doesn't love a good hot dog?
All right, we're gonna do our hot seat. Go ahead and throw those 60 seconds on. Your first cassette or CD you ever owned? What came first?
First cassette was Jimmy Buffett Live.
Nice. What's your hometown famous for?
Probably the movie Lucas was filmed there.
Ooh, okay. Well, who has the best pizza in Chicago?
Oh, Pequod's.
Ooh, okay. We gotta try that. That's a new one. The strangest thing you've ever seen in the middle of the road?
I don't know if I can answer that without getting in trouble.
Ryan Nelson said naked man, and I'm just
Oh,
assuming
then
it was
that's what I
him.
was gonna say. Naked man.
There you go.
Naked man.
What's the oldest, most vintage item that you own?
My probably my Restless Heart signed hat.
Ooh, that's nice. What's one thing people buy that you think is a waste of money?
Drugs.
All right. What would you be good at selling?
Concert tickets.
There we go. Your favorite vacation destination?
Ooh, Siesta Key, Florida.
Ooh, this one's gonna be one of my favorites being in Chicago. What slogan or jingle gets stuck in your head every time you hear it?
What's the Glenn Lerner has the A22
22. That's why. All right, there we go. Joey's I was wondering. I'm like, being from
Glenn
Chicago,
Lerner's the lawyer for you. Call
It's either gonna be
822-2222
Glenn Lerner.
Empire. That was
or
my
that
other
damn dude ripping off the door off the side of his
My
car.
other one was Bob Rohrman.
I didn't think about that one. That one's funny. When I was a kid, it was funny because my uncle, he actually worked there at a place called Century Electronics in Dundee, but it was a guy named Lottie, and he'd always use commercials. Hey guys, or hey kids, Lottie here, or whatever. That's why he always enter all these commercials. Even on you see him on TV, and just then you go to the store, and the minute you walk in the store, he'd say, "Hey guys, Lottie here." And the minute you walk in the store,
Jesus Christ.
just like on the TV, I was like, "All right, this guy's cool."
Okay,
I was
I
like, this
love
guy.
it. I love it.
So the last one I have, of everything you've done some really cool stuff, and you got to be a part of a different stuff. What's still on your bucket list? Something you might want to achieve on the path that you're taking right now? Maybe somebody you want to interview, or just something you want to do, or something. What would make you feel satisfied to the point you're at? Kind of.
I feel like I don't know if I'll ever be satisfied. And not in a bad way.
Oh, yeah.
I think I always just want to reach higher. I just hit a really big mile. I mean, for me personally, my goal was to get above 1,000 followers in my first year.
Yeah.
And I just hit 2. I got picked up by All Country News, and I'm the new host of their Country Confidential podcast, and have gotten to talk to some people that I just never thought in a million years. I think for me, the end goal is working my way to be when you come to Chicago, you want to come hang out with Bobbi and Backstage Bobbi and do that stuff. And so slowly working to get there. I think the next big thing that I accomplished was doing all those backstage interviews. I have about 4 of them lined up here. I can't announce who it is yet because I'm saving that here. But you mentioned dream interview. It's got to be my girl, Ashley McBride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that ever happened, for me personally, regardless of career or clout or followers or fans or sponsorships or money, I feel if I could tell her that how much she has saved me and changed my life, I feel like I could be done with Backstage Bobbi and
Well, I'll
and
tell
be
you
happy.
what, if I ever get a chance to interview her, you're my co-host for that episode.
Oh,
No, seriously. I have a buddy.
would
I have a
love
buddy
that.
that has a little bit in. I'm going to try down the road to maybe try to get an interview with her. And if I ever get a chance to interview her, you're my co-host for that episode.
Love it.
Guaranteed.
Done.
No matter where it is, what it is, or anything
I'm
else.
there. I'll make it happen. But yeah, I think the end goal, it's slowly happening, and I think I'm constantly surprising myself, which is a lot of fun. And you know what I mean? I just want to show that there's this really awesome community for musicians who love country music and maybe feel like they don't fit in here in Chicago. And I just want there to be a really great community for country fans to maybe go discover somebody new and not just go see the big names that roll through town.
Exactly. I mean, we talked about some bars, some people that are doing some phenomenal things in and around Chicago.
Totally.
Even if you travel outside, Bub City, but Cruisins down in West Peoria has been having some amazing acts.
Our buddy Clayton Shea was there.
Yeah,
Or there's Boondocks in Springfield. That's another really great one.
So if you get down in Southern Illinois, but definitely Chicago, country music's thriving again. It's making its way up to Milwaukee a little, but
yeah. I mean, wasn't Stapleton just at Summerfest?
Well, it's coming up in September, I think.
Yeah,
we're looking today. I think Stapleton's in September or so, but amazing things. But dude, this has been awesome. I know we ran a little bit over, but I've had fun.
I was so honored when you reached out to me. I got super giddy and excited because you're definitely killing it with what you're doing. You've been an inspiration to me. So thank you for
same here.
Thank you
what you're doing.
sharing your love of, and if y'all could see the amount of Eric Church staring at me, I feel like we were dating because he's just there's Eric Church is looking at me in all different kinds of ways, and I'm kind of loving it.
I always love when a first timer comes down here. I'll have to tell you about some stuff. I'll show you around after we get off air. So it's always fun bringing people down here for the first time and showing them around and all the other good stuff. So
awesome. Well, thank you for
having
having
me.
me. This was fun.
No, it was a ton of fun. It was so nice to meet you.
Yes.
We had a blast.
It was it was a lot of fun for sure.
We'll have to plan some concerts together, definitely.
Yes.
So before we roll off, this just popped in my head, and it was something that my last question of the night before we roll off. This past weekend, I had my first media pass out and about, and I had to wear a different hat and not be a fan. How do you go from separating yourself from professional from work to play? I mean, how do you? For me, myself, I've been a fan of Eric Church for 167 shows. And this past one was a little different for me because I was backstage doing stuff, but I stayed far away because I wasn't there for them. I was there for somebody else and doing other things. I was working. So I kind of kept myself distant. But for you, how do you is it hard? I mean, because it's tough at times, but how do you do it?
It's hard. So I was really lucky and got invited to do some media with my friends, Steph and Marianne. It was hard. I think it was a learning curve, but I think having my live show and then, you know what I mean, doing our Zoom interviews with Country Confidential, I think I've definitely realized that these are just real people who are so used to just the mobs of fans that I feel like if I'm going to get a leg up, I'm going to do what you did. I'm going to give them their space like they deserve. And hey, you know what? If we meet each other at the bar, hey, buddy, love that new single. Or hey, I'm hoping you have some new music come out this year because I know you're ready. You know what I mean? But be professional, be respectful.
Yeah.
But it's hard, man. I mean, after John Party took my koozie, I was ready to leave and like throw up outside the United Center. I was so excited. So it was really, really difficult.
I was gonna say, how do you go from being the girl next to Alison Krauss to being the girl interviewing the people you interview now?
Yeah,
it's wild.
It is wild.
It's the same thing. It's like you have to, like I said, wear a different hat and really be that different person in a different situation.
I think for me, I try to put myself in their shoes. How would I want someone to approach me? I mean, Reba goes and shops at like Nashville Targets. You know what I mean? Like I would want to have that kind of respect from people. And bottom line, I don't want to be known as that girl. I want to be like, oh yeah, I did meet her. Oh yeah, she was cool. Or she just gave me a wave and like, let me have my space. And so I think bottom line, it's if I was in their shoes, how would I want a fan or somebody in the media to approach me?
Yeah, exactly. And if you get on the other side, it's just weird when it comes to it. So I want to see.
It was hard though, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it was not easy for me. Like, you know what I mean? I got to chat a little bit with Haley Witters, you know what I mean, during her set, and she slid into my Instagram afterwards and said it was nice to see you there. And that was hard to like even come up with a professional response instead of being like, hell yeah, girl. Like, it was like, yeah, it was so great to see you. Hopefully you can make it back to Chicago soon, as I'm like hyperventilating.
I'm like me, like when my interview with Ashley, I asked her a question, I'm like, yeah, all right.
I know that was but you know what? I feel like that is such her style though, too. And I feel like I loved your interview with her because I could feel that she was just pumped to have somebody into her.
She canceled a meet and greet on Saturday because she didn't feel good. But she's like, I'm still doing your interview. She's like, I promise I'm doing this. She goes, I'm doing it for you. I'm like, dude, we could cancel. We could reschedule. You're good.
And that's why I love country music because I feel like even the artists, the people that have had to reschedule or their publicists that have had to reach out, they're like, I am so sorry.
Listen to that Trey Lewis people. No.
Except for Trey Lewis.
We're trying to get them rescheduled, man. I love those guys.
He's so busy.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, I know some people on his team just kind of through the grapevine. Talk about a busy dude. I think I'm busy.
I love it. So he just announced today that his new EP coming out. Which is awesome.
And he's coming to Joe's.
God, I wish
we're gonna be in Nashville.
Actually, no, we're not. So the weekend he's gonna be at Joe's. We're in Wheeling, West Virginia, for that memorial.
Oh, that's right.
But that Saturday night he's in Columbus, Ohio, about an hour from our hotel.
Well, I'll be in St. Lucia, so I'm way out of there.
You got your email to say your invite for Nashville,
I'd
right?
rather be there.
I'm gonna try really hard to make it work.
Come on down.
If my bosses are on here, can I please have that day off? Yeah.
Give her the day after Labor Day off. She yes, the day after Labor Day.
What is that? The
7th.
The 7th. September
Yep,
7th.
Yeah, plug. September 7th. Everybody needs off. And if you don't know Sunday,
you need to join his group so you can get that email. You'll want to get that.
Or join the Patreon. You'll find out right away. You join Patreon, you find out right away what our big announcement is this Sunday.
And you get on the guest list.
And you get on the guest list. That's true.
Ba-boom.
That is true. So, all right, y'all. Yeah, I had a blast tonight. This was a lot of fun. Great. Yeah. I think we're good. I want to throw that extra question in there just because like it popped in my head. I was like, you know what?
It's a good one.
I got thinking. I was like, man.
And it's a question that you can't just ask anybody. Like not everybody will understand unless they've been in that position.
I know. And it's just like, because then you got to
question.
Yeah, I think you have to do it too to make the other side respect you too. Because if the artist's camp knows about you, knows who you are, and knows how crazy and diehard of a fan you've been or whatever in the past, like you gotta show them that hey, I can respect your boundaries as well. Totally. And I honor what your respected is. And I wanted to ask that because you are in the same position I am, and it was just different this weekend. So I wanted to get
it was different, but I feel like I was lucky. I got to be a little bit of both. I got to be both because I just did media, like legit media on Sunday. So I got to be like a big Hootie Darius fan with my dad on Friday. And you know what I mean?
My second concert was Hootie.
Oh my God. Gotta love Darius. He sang No Diggity during his set.
Did he really?
God. And he wore a Slick Rick t-shirt. It was awesome.
I'm sorry. Neil McCoy told us he was Michael Jackson's dad Michael Jackson's brother. I don't know what he was.
Kane Brown's dad.
Kane Brown's dad. And Brown's dad and Michael Jackson's brother. Kane Brown played the night before. Yeah. And he said Neil McCoy said he was Kane Brown's dad.
Neil McCoy, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude is phenomenal.
He's so fun. Have you ever seen him? Oh, he's so fun. I tried to get my boys into it so much and they didn't want to. Well, Avery did. He wanted to give him a high five.
He had his first meet and greet on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
Parker McCollum. So
and he wouldn't speak.
Hubba.
Oh, right.
I was like, what'd you? Oh, look at this. You speak about it. Okay, all right.
Me and you can talk about that.
That's what took so long for you to come back out.
Love it.
All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap up for the night. It was great time. All right, let's go. Take you off, and then hey, all right, we're gonna wrap up with you or take you off, and then we're good to go. I think we're good, right?
Woo-hoo.
Let me. Oh,
I'm sorry. Do you want me to play the music?
I forgot to read my outro.
I was going to say, am I playing music? What am I doing?
Hey, I'm sorry. I was trying to write properly. Like, no. All right. More editing. We're going to have to do this. It's going to be fun. Thank you for joining us tonight on episode 93 with Backstage Bobbi. The passion in her is unlike anything I've ever seen. I love her drive for music that she loves and is passionate about. Make sure you follow her on Instagram and all podcast apps. Everything is in our show notes where you can find her. I wish her nothing but the best. I can't wait to see where her motivation takes her next. So if you guys are up early next week, we got an early show. Join us next week, next Tuesday. Give me a good one.
The Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver is brought to you by Arlo Revolution. As we close the book on another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.